the CBC Evening News.
And a very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Lord with the Tuesday, April 12th edition of the CBC Evening News. And our top story: the issue surrounding the 3.5% increase owed to workers at the Grantley Adams International Airport has been settled. But what's on the table now, according to Prime Minister Frundle Stewart, is a new salary agreement going forward. Mr. Stewart has confirmed he chaired the meeting with the former leaders of the National Union of Public Workers, where it was put in writing that the money was not owed.
There was, as far as I'm aware, formal notification that the workers at the airport have conceded that the 3.5% was never owed. The unions have had to accept that because there was no evidence of it. I chaired the meeting, which was attended by Mr. Dennis Clark and the then president of the NUPW. And the issue of a 3.5% was taken off the table, and that was reduced to rating.
Well, Mrs. Stewart acknowledges that the airport has been performing well financially and should be in a position to give the workers some level of increase. He says, however, government has been covering some costs at the airport that has allowed it to perform so well.
After the Inc. was created, things that it should have been made responsible for continue to be done by the government. And therefore, while the Inc. has been making its own money, the government has been having to pay for things going on at the airport. And all those things are being examined now. You see, people don't understand the full nature of the inheritance with which we've had to deal since coming into office. And we inherited a lot of hidden debts that we had to bring to book.
Well, we're also hearing that the Public Service Act is to be completely overhauled. Prime Minister Stewart says the act enacted in 2007 is fraught with problems, but he says the act had to be allowed to work so that the issues could be identified and ironed out.
You can't tell me that anybody was fit to act in a position for 7 years, but once you do an interview, all of a sudden the person becomes unfit to hold the position. After 7 years, that person would have altered their position, would have changed their spending patterns, would have taken on additional commitments based on the active money they were getting and so on. And then all of a sudden you throw that person's life into chaos by asking them to revert to some junior position where they have to now go through another traumatic period of adjustment. A lot of people retired from the public service as a result of that.
Relief from environmental concerns is in the works for students and staff of the Combermere School. Education Minister Ronald Jones says the problem trees will be removed from the area, and these trees give off an unpleasant odor when bruised.
So we are working to have those trees removed. It's on private property, so there's a bit of consultation to have that done. In the meantime, I think we've had some understanding that persons who clear grass and shrubs would not do that during the time that children or this operation of the school.
Well, pest control measures are in place at the school, and the Ministry of Education will work with surrounding communities to prevent the burning of trash. In addition, improvements to the sewage and plumbing systems were completed at Combermere during the Easter vacation.
We worked on sealing some septic tanks and things of that ilk. We will continue to monitor that environment. I mean, some of the plumbing would have been old because even though it has not been there for all of its years, it's still been there for quite a long time. And we will continue to monitor those. We will continue to remove what has to be removed.
Well, meanwhile, uncertainty remains as to when classes will resume on the Lawrence T. Gay School compound, but Minister Jones confirms the ministry is meeting with staff and parents shortly, and work will begin this week.
We only received what you can call a preliminary report late last week, So this week the work will commence on the removal of some structures, the remediation of the areas that have been affected by whatever has been found.
Minister Jones says the ministry is also working to provide the best environmental standards and highlighting their rapid response to a mold problem over at the Lodge School. While Barbados is moving closer to introducing a national qualification system, Minister of Education Ronald Jones says the National Qualifications Framework, or NQF, is aimed at developing a high-quality workforce that can compete successfully in the international labor market. He says the framework should be in place by year-end.
Tertiary educational providers will therefore need to be at the minimum registered in order to have their qualifications placed on the NQF, which will signal they have met minimum standards to operate in Barbados. However, the ultimate goal will be to achieve accreditation status, either institutional or programmatic, which will provide global recognition that the institutional program has met quality standards established by the Barbados Accreditation Council.
The minister made the comments at the opening of a two-day NQF implementation workshop at Ammon Bay. Barbados is getting help from the government of Mauritius in designing policies and procedures for the NQF. Representatives from the Mauritius Qualifications Authority and the Barbados Accreditation Council joined other stakeholders at the seminar to share knowledge, experience, and expertise for the implementation of the framework.
It is anticipated that the National Qualification Framework will bring benefits. And these will include making it easier for learners to enter the educational system and to progress within it. Secondly, the National Qualification Framework will also promote access, transfer, and progression into, within, between programs of learning. Thirdly, it will improve the overall quality of the educational system.
Well, the Royal Barbados Police Force is mourning the loss of a senior cop. Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police Livingston Eversley collapsed and died at his Vauxhall Gardens Christchurch home last evening. The 58-year-old took over as ACP in charge of crime following the death of Acting Assistant Commissioner Mark Thompson last November. Now, just last month, he was involved in the Citizens Domestic Violence Workshop, which ran for 4 weeks. Mr. Eversley leaves to mourn his wife, daughter, and 2 grandchildren. A man accused of killing his estranged wife has been released on bail after almost 4 years. He's 39-year-old draftsman Sean Watson of Ballantyne, Christchurch, who's been arrested and charged with the murder of his estranged wife, Nicole Harrison Watson. Watson walked out of the court today after bail in the sum of $250,000 was posted for his release. He had previously been granted bail 3 years ago, but had failed to satisfy the conditionalities for his release. On April 29, 2012, Watson was charged with murder after his wife's body was found at her Fernyhurst St. Michael home, bound and partially naked. The accused is being represented by attorney-at-law Brian Weeks. A number of studies will have to be undertaken before the Empire Theatre in historic Bridgetown is restored. As soon as that is done, Minister of Culture Stephen Lashley is hopeful the developers will begin work on the Probin Street property. Mr. Lashley provided the update during a Democratic Labour Party St. Michael East branch meeting.
That is the update that I have on in terms of the Empire. But we had earmarked the building to be used as I believe the submission that was made was to have the building restored, but the usage would be as a craft brewery as well as a theater. So it'll be a dual usage, and I'm hoping that the relevant planning permissions can be sorted so that, of course, that project can get on the way.
And as Barbados prepares to host Carrie Festa next year, Mr. Lashley would like to see the Daphne Joseph Hackett Theatre up and running in time for that big cultural showcase.
Certainly, it is my wish that we get the Queen's Park buildings, the Daphne Joseph Hackett Theatre, up and running by then. We're going to be having some discussion shortly with the Minister of Finance. He's promised to have some dialogue with us and, of course, the financial sector so we can secure the necessary funds to get that those buildings in Queen's Park. They're historic buildings. They fall, as you know, within the historic World Heritage property of historic British and its garrison, and we are very much on track. The only thing missing right now, of course, is getting the money.
And we'll have more news in just a moment. Stay with us.
This is where I learn. Courage is what I got from experience. With hard work, there are no walls between me and my dreams.
Only Milo contains ActiveGo, which is a blend of protomalt, a unique malt extract, and micronutrients to help prepare your child to get the best out of their day.
Thanks, Mom. Now I am ready.
Milo, energy food drink of champions.
Distributed by Massey Distribution.
Every Saturday morning, you got the bus and you went to town. My father's ice factory to the street, up Sobers Lane to the library.
Tune in for the We Bajans series as we profile one of Barbados's most outstanding citizens, Dame Billy Miller, as she reminisces about her childhood on Thursday, April 14th at 6:30 p.m. on CBC TV Channel 8.
More great cities just got closer. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard is now even better. Fly to New York, Miami, Orlando, and Fort Lauderdale with just 20,000 Scotia points. With your new Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard, you'll receive a welcome bonus of 10,000 Scotia points, so you can enjoy the cities you love most sooner than ever. Apply by March 31st. Call 1-800-744-2672 or visit your nearest branch. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
A lot of people think that fast bikes are cool, and the girls show like the guys who ride them. But like so many things about life, you gotta be careful. Having sex without a condom is like riding a bike without a helmet. It's just plain dumb. It's okay to have fun as long as you're smart about it. My name is Daniel the Lion Fortress, and I'm different, and I'm making a difference.
Live up. Love, protect, respect.
Well, cheers and screams filled the school hall of Harrison College this morning as the students and staff celebrated the recent achievements of athletes Shadia Williams and Haley Matthews.
The pair have both made their mark on the international stage, with Miss Williams currently ranked 3rd in the world in the 200 meters and Miss Matthews being a world T20 cricket champion. Chairman of the Trustees of the Harrison College Foundation for Creative and Sporting Excellence, Dighton Griffith, is appealing to the school's alumni to assist others who may have the same potential as Sade and Haley.
We are reaching out to Harrison College alumni all over the world to make 5-year covenants with the school so that we have a source of funding for a long time to come, to ensure that people with these talents have every opportunity to maximize them while they are here and not when they leave, so that we produce some more 18-year-old champions in World Cup finals.
A soft-spoken Sade took the time out to formally thank Harrison College, saying she has been humbled by the endless support she has received since attending the school.
From the bottom of my heart, I say thank you to everyone. Sometimes all we see are the successes of others, including myself, but there you give it your all if you want to succeed. This is what I have tried to do my entire life, just give it my all. It was not always easy, it is not always easy, and I don't expect that in the future it will always be easy. What I can guarantee you is that I will always be giving 100%.
And Haley Matthews was happy she could return to her alma mater and celebrate with the students. She says going forward, she wants younger girls to look up to her and know that they too can achieve greatness in sport.
I want to be a role model for as many people as I could, and you know, to be able to balance both your academics and your sports would be very important. But I mean, if it's something that you really want to do and something that you're really gifted in, I would always tell anyone to pursue their dream. I mean, and anytime you really go at it, it will work out for you.
The students of Harrison College are certainly proud of their champions. Lisa Broom, CBC News.
Well, the students of the foundation school are being told to pay attention to everything that's happening leading up to the country's 50th anniversary of independence. The message comes from Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, Robert Bobby Morris, as he spoke during the reception of the Broken Trident at that institution. He says the independence ceremony in 1966 was the best experience of his life, and he believes the 50th anniversary will be a significant memory in the lives of the students.
I want you to be observant of all of the things that are happening in our country in this year as we climax in November of this year. As we climax in November of this year. Watch everything, because here's what I'm doing. I'm passing on not only the trident, I'm passing on the baton to your generation.
Matters related to managing the effects of climate change were high on the agenda when newly appointed Australian High Commissioner to Barbados, John Pilbeam, met with Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Maxine McLean. High Commissioner Pilbeam said that there were a number of similarities between Caribbean islands and the islands in the Pacific, where negative effects of climate change could be seen. He believes the strategies used in the region were often very helpful to the Pacific islands. Senator McLean used the devastating effects caused by unseasonal rainfall in Dominica, St. Lucia and St. Vincent in recent years as a testimony of the adverse effects of climate change. The Foreign Affairs Minister also pointed out that government would continue its efforts to encourage adaptation and mitigation. She added that government was keen to involve the private sector in those areas. Well, still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across our region. Stay with us.